Hey, how are you today? It's Phil Gerbishek. I am excited to share some Zoom Enterprise like Mac Daddy awesome tricks. I've been using Zoom, gosh, 5, 6 years. Doug DeVitri introduced me to it many years ago, and I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. Well, then I started using Zoom Enterprise, and I had questions, and I know who the best person is to talk to about Zoom Enterprise. It's my friend, Marquesa Petway. Marquesa, what's up? How are you, friend?
Hey, Phil, I'm so happy to be here and talk to another brilliant tech mind who
Very sweet. Thank
loves to
you.
leverage technology in his business and be in the technology group because, guys, Zoom is everything. And I'm expecting every person in this group to be at this level, not because they know everything, but they know the importance of leveraging the heck out of technology. So this is certainly a conversation for them. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure. So I gotta ask before we get started on all these awesome tricks, because I know you got a ton of them for us today. Why did you get started with Zoom? How did you get started with Zoom? Why did it matter to you? Because we could go anywhere. Why Zoom though?
Yeah. All right. Well, that is such a good question. Before Zoom, guys, well, first of all, I've been in business 15 years. So it is 16 years this month that I'm in business and speaking like a lot of other folks. And I was on the road, and I forgot to ask you, how do I share slides on here?
Just
I'm
on the
new to
bottom.
stream.
Just on
Huh?
the bottom. Share your screen and bring it on up.
No, or share screen. Okay, thank you. So I want to. Okay, good. Select window or screen. Oh wow, even lets you choose Zoom. Okay, now. Okay, guys, but let me. No, I don't want to share that. So I think I'm doing the wrong thing. Anyway, guys, so he asked me, how did I get started with Zoom? How did I become Zoom queen? All that good stuff. And when I early in my speaking career, I worked for the seminar companies. Now, a lot of professional speakers are familiar with the seminar companies. This would be the Skill Path, National Seminars. Fred Pryor hired me, but I never worked for them. AMA. So that meant that I was on the road every single day, either 5 days a week or 4 days a week. And when I tell you, it was brutal. I love speaking to audiences anywhere from about, I don't know, 7 to 10 people, all the way to 500 people. I love that. But it was kind of hard doing it for like 4 to 6 hours. And then after you would speak, Phil and everybody that's listening, I would get in my car and drive to the next city unless it was further than 300 miles away. So with all of that, I again felt so lucky. Oh, I get to get in front of all these people. This seminar company contracted me. And again, this was at the beginning of my professional speaking year, but I quickly realized that I had no life. I mean, it's like I literally spoke, drove, slept, spoke, drove, slept. And then it caused me to gain a lot of weight. I miss people. I felt kind of like you feel in the pandemic times 10, in terms of just sort of being in your own bubble. And so while I was on the road for almost 4 years with the seminar companies, I said, what can I do? I want to run my own business. I don't want them to run it for me. I still want to speak. I still want to get in front of all these audiences, but I want to do it my way. Maybe that's why I'm in New York, because I'm conditioned to do things my way. So so that meant, guys, because I come from a TV news background, that's what brought me to New York 28 years ago. Then I was in corporate America, AT&T Business Markets, and then entrepreneur world. So I didn't really know a lot about the online world, the virtual world. I had no idea. So just like everybody else, I had to learn it. And this was many years ago. And then I used a webinar, GoToWebinar. I used, it's a bunch of them that I can't remember right now. And when I met Zoom, because Zoom has been around for almost a decade, and I think I was on the platform probably a good 2 to 3 months after it launched. And of course, no one was talking about Zoom. And when I met Zoom, y'all, I'm telling you, it was love at first sight. I was like, oh no, this is cool. And just to be clear, Zoom did not have all the bells and whistles it has now, nowhere near what it had, but I still found it to be user friendly. I thought to myself, oh my goodness, this is way bigger than a meetings platform. This thing is, this is way, this is a huge deal for me. And your browser has blocked your screen. Click the screen icon in your address bar and allow. Guys, I'm trying to share my slides, so it's doing all these funny things. Yeah. I'm trying to multitask. So that's really how. Oh, and then let me get to. So then I fell in love with Zoom. Start using it, feeling resilient in every area of my business, and that's kind of what I'm going to get into today, because it's way more than just, hey, let's talk, hey, let's speak, hey, let's, all that kind of stuff. And then I said, wait a minute, this thing is awesome. And I would tell all my colleagues, Phil knows this, everyone, I would say, guys, we're going to do a Zoom meetup. I made Zoom a big deal in my circles, especially NSA. And people were looking at me side-eyed. They were, Phil. They were like, what is wrong with this girl? What is she doing? And you may say, well, when did you have time to do this? One of the decisions I made was, okay, if I'm going to be on a road all this time and people want to work with me and coach with me, then the only way I can meet with them is virtually. So then that's when I got into online platforms, met Zoom, fell in love, used it daily. I mean, guys, I've always had a membership group and a mastermind and all these, 6-figure groups. And I said, okay. And I fell in love with Zoom, told everyone I knew. And then, of course, when the pandemic hit, people knew Marquessa knows her Zoom stuff. So that's kind of my very long-winded Zoom story.
Oh, well, see, and I thought you were single, Marquessa, but Robert says that you're engaged to Zoom. What's up with that?
I am engaged. I am, guys. And I expect, since I've never been married, I expect from all of you guys presents, I'm going to create a registry. Okay, seriously. I mean, Robert is right. I am engaged to Zoom, and I'm not ashamed of it.
So
don't
Zoom
judge.
Sometime 2021. We'll probably have it right here just for you. I'll probably be the officiant. So we'll talk about that later, Marquessa. But yeah, enable your screen share and all the other goodies here, because I know you've got a lot of smart stuff to share. But folks, yes, we are not on Zoom today, because we are going to show off how to leverage Zoom through StreamYard, because frankly, right, that way we can screen share and you can actually see it. So if you click on screen share down there, Marquessa, it should
No, that's, what's happening? The blocker is coming up and I'm not used to that. So I'm trying to quickly figure out, how do I find my blocker, turn off the blocker?
Yeah, up on the top in your browser.
Yeah.
It should have a little warning thing, and you should be able to turn it off right up there.
Okay, good. So it's hard. So you keep talking so I can figure it out.
Yeah, I'll talk. So you play. So hey, right. So folks, so I've been using Zoom, like I said, for a very long time. I use it in my meetings. I probably do each month. I bet I do 50 or 60 hours worth of Zoom meetings. That's where I meet most of my clients. I love that I can get things done faster with Zoom. I don't have to be on the road like I did. And there's a lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool features on Zoom that we're going to show off today. Hopefully we get this screen share to work for Marquessa. Otherwise, I'll open up my Zoom, because I have Zoom Enterprise, and we can talk about that too. But there's a lot of stuff you can do, a lot of different things. Robert Kennedy, you make me laugh, buddy. When's the Zoom wedding for Marquessa? And sometimes, yeah, she's actually not on Zoom. But right now is one of those times. So with that, if you have questions, you have feedback about anything, we'll make sure that those questions get answered today. If you're watching this in the replay, this was originally live in the Speaker Tech Tips group. So it's an unofficial group, because I'm a speaker and a lot of my friends are. We want to help each other grow their business. So if you're thinking, jeepers, I should really use technology better as a speaker, I encourage you, just search Facebook for Speaker Tech Tips. And Marquessa, you're back. What's shaking?
That was so weird. So I figured it out. It does. Will you allow StreamYard to see your screen? Yes. Allow. Oh, now the allow button is disappearing. I tell ya. Oh, you're bringing back memories for me. So it's still trying to get on here. Let me just. it is saying, you know how the allow thing is not there? And I'm like, no, I want it allowed. What is the issue?
So click on the upper right where the camera icon is.
Yeah.
Says should say either continue allowing or always block, and then you can click on manage, and maybe that would be an option for you.
Are you on a Mac? Is this some? Oh, okay. So you said, all right. So what's happening is it says select window or screen.
Okay.
Oh, well, if I do entire screen, darn it, I don't want to do entire screen. That's too weird. Darn it. Okay, I'll figure this out, guys. Oh, here we are, StreamYard, right? Is that it? Did I do it?
Let's see.
What's going on? Oh my God, it's going crazy. Okay, something is happening.
So you're going to need to just share Zoom.
Oh, share Zoom.
Yeah, share PowerPoints if you have slides.
No, I have pages up. So I have a PowerPoint here. Okay. And you know what? Here's the thing. Why am I in Zoom? Let me get the heck out of Zoom. Why am I in Zoom? Let me get out of Zoom. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. So keep going. All right. I'm sorry, guys. I'm literally just in Zoom world. This is bringing back. Do you know for 3 months I was on a speaking tour and they were using big marker, and I'm up here trying to the stuff I had to go through with that. And this here is just, guys, this is nothing. I'm sure there's nothing wrong with this. I'm just having a problem sharing my screen, and I have the best slides on the planet, and it leads me, and I need the freaking slides. So I'm trying to figure it out. Okay, hit share screen again. Do we have a good group of people, Phil? How's it going out there?
Yeah, we've got a few people here. Robert's the most vocal, of course. So Robert shows us it's working. So thank you, Robert, for that. Robert's our test buddy here. If that doesn't work, Marquessa, send me the slides and I'll load them on my machine because I can share. So
okay, you know what? That may actually, you know what? Let me just do that, but it's iCloud, you know, can't just, it's like that whole process of how do I send that quickly, you know, with it being Keynote. That's not easy to send unless I'm going to PDF them. I can do that. So here it is. Will you allow StreamYard.com to see your screen? Yes. Window or screen to share. Select window or screen. That seems like a normal. So if I click StreamYard, it goes crazy. It's either the two choices are StreamYard or entire screen. So which one do I choose? Or is that not correct? Or you don't know?
Yeah, I would try. I would honestly try your entire screen, dear.
And I think I did that before and it showed all of us. Here we go. And it showed way too much. See, look at this. This is what happens when you show the entire screen. Do you see the entire screen now?
No, yeah. So now change to, I do. So before I add it though, change to your active window from StreamYard to your Keynote or Pages or whatever you have.
Okay. Okay, and I'm not seeing what I'm sharing either.
No, I know. So that's because it's going to duplicate
here.
Oh,
wow. It is really going crazy. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm a PDF it. I can do this, guys. I'm a PDF it. Send it to you and let you share the slides because this is hard. Guys, I know Zoom. I do not know the rest of this stuff. So this is what happens when you live on Zoom and normally I can do this. I live stream through Restream, but I don't know. And it's not your fault or anything. It's just that I can't figure this out quickly how to do this. Clear cookies, and it's a MacBook Pro, and I can't figure this out and talk. And I don't want to waste time. So you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to my slides here, guys, because you know the show must go on. I'm going to export to PDF because it's easier for me to transfer it to you. Okay. And then we'll just do it that way. Export to PDF. Hit export. There we go. So it's exporting right now, guys. All right. And then Phil, is there a way through StreamYard I can share it with you here, or do I need to email it? Okay. So I'll email it. Not a problem. I'm going to go to Phil. Phil, how long have you and I known each other?
I don't know, 7 or 8 years, probably. Long time.
Wow. And then when did we figure out that we're both we love technology?
I don't know, probably 3 or 4 years ago, right?
Really? Because now, how long have you been using Zoom?
Since pretty much since it came out. Doug DeVitri, excuse me.
Really?
When Dougie came out with screen-to-screen selling, like a year before that, he showed me Zoom.
Good. Okay, good. There we go. All right. So it's coming. Although don't ask me why I went through Google Drive. It's coming. So here's a question for you, Phil, because part of what we're going to do is making sure that not only are we leveraging Zoom, but we're leveraging the best part of Zoom. You get me? And so that means Zoom Enterprise. And a lot of people have Zoom Enterprise. Is there any way you can ask the audience how many people have Zoom Enterprise? Like, which level of Zoom do they have? I would love to know that.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So folks, if you're listening live here, not watching the replay, let us know. Are you using Zoom Enterprise, Zoom Free, Zoom Pro? What are you using? Just drop a comment here. Let us know what you're using. Pop a note there. We'll get these slides working for you in just a few moments here.
Okay, here you go. Oh, I think because it's so heavy. Okay, here we go. Send and hit send. Okay. All right. Check your email, Phil, to see if you got it.
Checking now.
Yep. Check your email. Okay. See, guys, I take responsibility. That's why you do they call it tech checks. Tech checks. But I literally came from a speaking engagement to you, and then I leave you and go to another one. So we really, and so I think we both kind of arrived right at 4. All right, let me know when you get it, Phil, because it's a heavy file. Yep, but in the meantime, oh, you are, yay, cool. And I'm sorry, it's PDF, but I still think there's a way to share what you need to share on there. Cool.
Of course there is. So, yeah.
But guys, my goal today is making sure that you are leveraging everything that Zoom has. And although I can appreciate all of the different bells and whistles within Zoom, my primary reason, I would love to know everyone who's listening, primary reason. What's your primary reason for using Zoom? What is the primary reason? I would love to know that. My primary reason is being able to grow, serve, and leverage in my business. Those are my primary reasons. Being able to grow, okay, leverage and serve in my business. Those are my primary reasons. And what I love about Zoom Enterprise, if you're using the bigger part of Zoom, the strategic part of Zoom, it makes a huge difference. It's a game changer. Otherwise, you're just sort of using it as a meetings platform. No shade here, no judgment here, but using it as a platform, in my opinion, is extremely limiting. So I would love to know how, what you guys mainly use it for as well. Okay, so Phil, let me know what's next. I'll let you guide, because I love that we're having a conversation, because I love talking to you.
Well, now we got your slides, so you tell me when you want to go on the next one.
Oh, cool. All right, guys, so here we go. You see, I even named the slides after Phil. Z Queen Phil. All right, so first of all, it's something important for you to know, and I think many of us have this, but I have what I call a lifestyle business. And the story I told you guys earlier about speaking for the seminar companies early in my career played a huge role in me developing a lifestyle business. And what that meant is I still love to speak and share my expertise in a lot of different modalities and a lot of different ways. But I want to be able to do it, y'all, in different ways, because I get bored, and I want to be able to do it without living on a plane. And this was a decision I made many, many years ago. So I started to build some of it. I didn't even know I was doing it. Started to create that lifestyle business. And Zoom, guys, let me tell you, and I know we're in pandemic, Zoom just takes it to a whole nother world. So really, if you want to, and some people say, well, how is that wrapped into lifestyle? In other words, I do everything around what's important to me in my life. So I never feel like I'm working. I feel like I'm living. So you can go to the next slide, Phil. Keep going. Actually, you can go further, because you guys have already heard about me. I think a lot of other people in the group kind of know a little bit about me. Can you go back to the other slide that has what Zoom Like a Boss is? just so they kind of know what it is, because this is the whole piece of what Zoom, and there's a slide that says the definition of Zoom like a boss. And you can pass my introduction and all of that. And I don't know how many people in the group or how you guys know me, but guys, I love main stages just like everybody else. But that's that picture that Phil brought up a second ago was me on the stage of Microsoft. Would you believe, Phil, that I took Microsoft from hiring me just to do a breakout session to being on their main stage for more than 5,000 employees, along with 3 breakouts, and one of those breakouts being a leadership session, all because of Zoom.
Wow. That's awesome.
Did you hear that? So this takes me to my definition. Zoom like a boss means leveraging the Zoom platform in your business, resulting in smart meetings, stellar presentations, more business, leverage time and energy. So you may wonder, how did I do that? They sent me an email, just like you would normally get, Phil. Hey, we heard you speak before. We'd love for you to come and do a breakout session at our internal conference. I said, oh, this is great, wonderful. And what do most speakers do, Phil, when they get an email like that?
They email
like,
back.
what do they do? Yeah, but what do they tend to email back?
Oh, what's your budget, or a phone number, or nothing that's going to help them probably.
And you know what? That's fine. And I'm sure I did that too at one point in my business. I was just happy. I was like, let's close this, right? However, this is where Zoom comes in. With Zoom, I said, Sarah, thank you so much. I'm glad you never forgot about me. How about if we meet on Zoom? Okay, how about if we meet on Zoom? Guys, I meet all of my clients on Zoom. The phone does not exist to me. You get what I'm saying? So I meet my clients on Zoom. So she came on, I mind map. I share my screen, I mind map. I ask all of these questions. And then here's where I really get bold. I don't like proposals. Do you like proposals, Phil? Do you like writing proposals?
Hate them.
I hate them. So I don't do them. I do them live via Zoom. So when she came on, yes, she asked me all these questions. I said, how many people are on the decision? Tell me about your event, all the normal stuff. How many people are part of this decision? And she says, oh, it's only like 4 of us. And I said, oh, okay. Would they be interested in meeting? Because guys, I really want you to use me when I'm out there. She said, sure. She was intrigued. Guys, this is before Zoom was a big deal. And honestly, at a lot of corporations, because of firewalls, and half of them didn't have webcams, it was a big deal, right? To get people to meet with you virtually face to face. But I said, Sarah, I want to see your face. I want you to see mine. And I really want you to see it as I'm mapping out your event. So she said yes to everything. And then she was intrigued enough where she was impressed because she saw the waiting room before she got to me. She came in, we chatted, mind mapped out everything. And then we agreed at that moment, hey, I'm not going to send you a proposal for everything that I'm doing. How about if you meet me back here in a few days? And if possible, bring your buddies with you. She said yes. They all met me back on Zoom. I did my proposal live. I shared it on screen. I also shared a really short smidget of my video for the other 2 people that hadn't heard me. They were so impressed on that call. They said, okay, we like it. I propose main stage with a certain presentation. And again, 3 breakouts. So I kind of took my fee up 5 times just by doing it that way. So I just wanted you guys to know how deep this goes for me. And here's the piece that I'm going to talk about first. Go down to transcription. We may go a little bit out of order, but I would be curious, how many folks use transcript? Do you use transcription a lot, Phil, in your business? Oh, I think you're on mute.
I absolutely do, Marquessa, every day.
Every day?
Yep.
Now, when you look at this list, guys, this is how I use transcription. You see this list here? It says proposals. I just showed you how. Writing. I don't know. Is writing something you love to do, Phil? Because it's not something I love to do. I like to speak. Writing, I'm learning it, but it's not a gift of mine. But is it a gift of yours?
Some days. Some days it is. Some days it's not.
Well, for me, I need to speak my book. And then my 91-year-old grandmother, she can do some writing, but I want her to speak her book. She wants to write her life story. So I'm helping her do it. And then a client called me yesterday, a Zoom Enterprise client, and said, hey, I already got my book written, but I want a certain amount of interviews that I need to do. And I need a way to transcribe it so I can know which pieces to pull and which pieces to save so they can also be added to my book. Bottom line, if you're writing a book or doing anything, that's where the transcriptions come in. Podcasts. I don't know if you have a podcast. I know a lot of people do. And I know when I'm walking and I'm listening to a podcast, I can't capture everything they're saying, and I can appreciate show notes. But if you can give me a transcript, I'm in love with you. And it's another reason for me to go to your website and go deeper into your funnel. So why not, if you're going to record the podcast, do it on Zoom, let Zoom capture it in the transcription. You get what I'm saying? And then that way, you're able to leverage. Now you're able to, offer that as a value add to your podcast. Virtual office hours. If you do that, sometimes people will pop in and ask questions, and I may use that transcript to add to my frequently asked question database. My assistant can just grab it and put it in there. It's also, if it's a longer session, I will send it to my coaching client, or have my assistant go into Zoom, grab that transcript, and then put it into the client's portal. So it's a good way of doing it. Of course, we all add that to courses, coaching sessions. That's huge because I want the client to pay attention. I don't want them sitting up here trying to take notes. So that's a very big deal. And I can go on, but these are different ways to leverage the transcripts. But here's the deal, guys. Transcripts does not come with Zoom Pro. It does not. Can you upgrade to transcripts from Zoom Pro? I believe you can, but it's going to cost you a pretty penny. And it's not, and I don't know, unless you want to pay a bunch of money, go right ahead. If you want to pay 50, 60, 70 bucks for transcripts every month, go right ahead. Or now keep going down because I want to show them kind of what it looks like, Phil. So it should be on the next one of the upcoming slides. This one here, go back to that slide there. And guys, these aren't just regular okay, here's one here. Now you see all these different views, right? There's gallery view, there's active speaker is whoever's speaking at the moment, speaker view, and then there's shared speaker shared view. Bottom line, why do you care about this? Give two peanuts about this. Zoom gives you a transcript for all of these. Did you know that? So let's say that Phil and I met, and then, I don't know, I was the speaker and it was Phil's event, and he's like, okay, Marquesa, I want to share this with all of the employees, so I really don't want the gallery view because that's distracting. Can you just send me the recording as well as the transcript just with the speaker view? Oh, and I want your PowerPoint, of course, to show on the screen. I can literally just send Phil a link just with that, and he can then download the recording and download the transcript. So it's a game changer because it gives you the transcript in several different ways. Let me I don't know if it's before, go either before or after it, the one that has that lifestyle picture on it, but it has, that's the one. Guys, you see that? So you see, you see my PowerPoint that I'm sharing on the screen. In the corner, you see me speaking, right? That's the video component. Down to the right, what do you see? Words. That's the transcription component. So if I sent this to Phil just clicks on the link, a simple hyperlink that I sent him. He clicks play. And then all of a sudden he sees my video speaking. And then as I say the words, Zoom is highlighting it. That's how detailed that is. And before I send it, because sometimes Zoom spells my name wrong, they call me Macusta or something else. So I can go in there and change the name. I also, let's say that it's a word I want to replace. I'm like, oh, darn it, I used that word. It's taking me back to my Toastmaster days. Let's say that I'm using, I forgot what they call those words, but say that I'm using a word that I want to take out. I can go at the top of that transcript in Zoom. You see that search box right there? I can type in dude, let's say I use dude a lot. I don't know why it would be a bad word, but let's say I typed in dude a lot. I can type dude, it would bring up all the dudes in the transcript, but I can hit delete. So it's just literally like a live transcript. Phil, I used to pay before Zoom got transcription, literally I paid somebody $135 a month in order to do that. So guys, I can go deeper on it, but the gist of it, this is the bigger picture of it. So Phil, does that make sense? Any quick questions on that or thoughts?
Well, I really dig that as well. I think that the transcripts is a huge option. And somebody here's teasing you about dude, but yeah, I think that the fact that you have transcripts definitely changes the game. I can use that so much more effectively for coaching. I use it for that. I absolutely use it to transcribe podcasts. What's nice, it also gives you a timestamp. I don't do that usually with my podcast because I don't edit as much, but I think that's really strong. I think there's a lot of different reasons to use transcripts that you mentioned, Marquesa. I think that's super great idea, and it does have a lot of different options there. I didn't realize you could send a different transcript to folks, so that's really helpful on that. Really cool, really cool.
No, big time. I'm still here. I just noticed it's so funny that my computer is unplugged. I'm having fun with you. So here I go back. I'm like, why is my computer look like it's unplugged? All right, here I go. So good. So glad. Love that you guys love it. Phil, while we're doing this, can you put your link in the chat room? Guys, sure. If you do not have Zoom Enterprise, and in a second, I'm going to have Phil share the screen where you can see the comparison, because there's something huge. Like, I got big news for you. But before we get to that, I want Phil to put in the chat room his link to Zoom Enterprise. And guys, that link means that he will get a piece of change. It's a nice piece of change for anyone in his group that decides to get Zoom Enterprise. And I am a Zoom administrator, which means I have a couple of hundred licenses under me. And of those couple of hundred, I have about 30 or so available. So I know that field serves a lot of folks that could use these. And so I'm glad that you're a partner, Phil. So make sure you use his link, guys. That's really important. Now I want you to direct it, Phil, because I have other kind of benefits I want to show. That's also in the slide. But I'd love to know what people are thinking, what questions they have, because my goal is I just wanted to share 4 reasons why you want to play a bigger game with Zoom. And one of those reasons, probably more than one, that I shared related to transcripts. The other 3 will be it's recording on steroids. Another one is webinar. A lot of people do not use the platform called Zoom Webinar. It does not mean you got to do a webinar. That's just the name of the platform. So reason number 1 is transcripts. Reason number 2 is recordings on steroids. Reason number 3 is webinars, Zoom webinar platform. And then reason number 4 is live streaming. So can we go to, I can't remember, what's next in my slides? I have the slides up here. I want to see what I want to show you guys next. And let me know, Phil, if there's any questions, because I kind of love to kind of go with what you guys need as well.
Yeah, no questions yet, but let's go through those again, Marquesa. So you said transcripts were the first one, right?
Transcripts was the first one.
So
that was the big one. Transcripts. Yep. Recordings is number 2.
Yep.
The recordings. So, number 3 is Zoom webinar platform. Yeah. And it's important that we say, platform, so they don't think it's just a webinar thing. That's huge. And then number 4 would be live streaming.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. So now, so you talked about the transcripts and you talked about the recordings there, but let's talk about the other 2 that you don't have, that we didn't cover yet, and then we can bring up some slides again. And that's the webinar platform and live streaming, because I think those are big ones for folks, and I don't think they understand how important those are. So Marquesa, how do you use the webinar platform of Zoom to make money as a speaker?
Well, one of the things, and this is here, I'm kind of looking at the slides I have here because there's a million different ways that I use it. But one thing that I love about Zoom Webinar, guys, is it gives you 100% of control of the meeting. So look at it like this. Let me back up a little bit. Again, I use Zoom strategically in my business. So Zoom is a virtual classroom for me. Zoom is a virtual stage for me. It's a virtual office, and the list goes on, a studio, et cetera, et cetera. Zoom webinar platform, I use that as my big stage. So when I do not need to see a lot of faces on the screen and or I want complete control of the meeting, what do I mean by that? In other words, if I want, for example, I may want certain people to speak, and I know we can pin and all these funky things, all these awesome features that Zoom has recently rolled out. But here's the thing, whenever you're going to do a presentation, you have to ask yourself, what's the goal of this presentation? You guys know Marjorie Brody. She's part of Speaker Hall of Fame with NSA. And that was one of the many jobs I had early in the speaking industry. And I would go out and speak for her clients, and she paid me $1,000. I remember those days. And one of the things that I learned through Marjorie was know your pal. Purpose, audience, logistics. So so for example, I've had clients, and I'm sure you have too, Phil, that have said, would you please do a pre-recorded keynote? Have you ever had that situation?
Sure.
Let's do a pre-recorded webinar. Well, yeah, I could do that on meetings all by myself, but I need energy. I need energy from the audience. That's important to me. So you know what I do, Phil? I'll send a message out to my tribe in different ways, and I'll say, hey guys, I have to do a pre-recorded keynote on blah, blah, blah. And it could really help you do blah, blah, blah. Would you mind coming and checking it out? You're going to get something from it, and I just want you there because I just want your energy. A bunch of people will show up, but I don't have to see their faces. Isn't that cool? So that's one of the benefits, again, of Zoom Webinar. Here's something else that I also love. The branding on Zoom Webinar has way more benefits. So for example, with Zoom Meeting, you can show like the description of the meeting. But my dear, are you sitting down on Zoom Webinar? You're able to share your bio and your speaker picture. So you go deeper with the branding. Here's the piece that I think is a game changer that you'll love, Phil. I don't know if this is like a game to me, Phil. So I want to know if you know this, and you got to tell me the truth if you know about this. And it'd be easier if we do show the slide, but this is a huge, big deal with a Zoom webinar. Do you ever feel, let's say that you're going to do something on LinkedIn and you have a newsletter, you have Facebook group, right? Do you have a group on LinkedIn too?
I don't.
No.
I don't. No.
But you have different places. So about how many places, let's say this is a public thing, you want to put it out to the masses. How many different places will you share that link with? Share that Zoom link with? Let's assume it's on Zoom.
I don't know, probably 5 or 6 at least.
5 or 6. Are you sitting down? This is huge. This is huge. Okay, so go to, there's a section called Webinar, Phil. You may be able to see this on the slides I gave you. There's a section called Webinar. Go to that section. If you go into the back end of Zoom Webinar, right? Guys, this is big. Phil can go in. The only thing he needs to do is put in the source. That's it. So he would put in one source would be what? Your newsletter. Another source would be what? Your speaker tech group, right? And then so on and so forth. In the back end of Zoom for that particular meeting, literally, guys, Phil would just put all, that's it right there. He found it. Yes, yes. So you see that right there where it says registration URL. You see that, right? It's in that particular section. You see where it says source name. So you're going to put Facebook group, and I put my Facebook group there. You see where I put LinkedIn profile, email, and you can do as many as you want. What happens is Zoom gives you a unique URL for each of those. Then Zoom will tell you how many people register from that URL and how many people visited the URL. Why would you want to know that?
So you know what your most effective promotion platform is.
There you go. You see the deal?
Yeah.
So you have all those pieces there. And what I love, and then if you have partners, you see what's going on. This is not extra. Hello. It's a part of Zoom webinar. And this is the piece that a lot of people never use, but you got to have Zoom webinar to use it. So Zoom tracks for you. It lets you know what's working, what's not. Here's something else I like about it. Before I go on stage, I need backstage time. Do you need backstage time, Phil? I need backstage time. Yeah, I need backstage time. Well, what I love is, and this is a tip, a lot of people use Zoom webinar and then they come right on and then your audience sees you. Well, if you go into your settings, oh my gosh, there's a couple, you click on enable practice session. Now, sometimes as speakers, we're like, I don't need no practice session. I'm too good. No. That's not what they mean by that. Enable practice session just literally means backstage time. That gives you time for me to go on and say, is any of my gray showing, or I'm shining too much, or is there something in my nose? It gives you a chance to sort of get organized and then bring yourself and your speakers on backstage before you open the gates and then everybody comes in. So that's something that you can only do, Madali. And yes, you have waiting room. By the way, they're going to have waiting room on Zoom webinar as well. And here's the last thing that I would tell you about Zoom webinar is, Phil, do you ever, now I know you do a lot of public webinars or events or presentations that you release to the public because you are a genius when it comes to LinkedIn. I remember I had you speak for my group. I just love your brain and when you talk about LinkedIn and how to leverage it. So here is my question. Do you ever sometimes do a big one and then somebody will send an email, Phil, where is that presentation? I missed it. And what do you do?
Of course. Well, I sent it to them.
Exactly. What if I told you you don't have to do that anymore?
Yeah. Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you don't believe me, do you? You don't have to do it anymore. No. You never have to do it again. Zoom will do it for you. You don't believe me, do you? Zoom will do it for you. And this is how. If you use the Zoom webinar platform, when you go and you set up that webinar, if you click the little thing that says webinar on demand, right? And this is, of course, where you're going to have a registration page because you want people to register. Soon as people, all you do is tell that person, go right to the webinar page. Or go right to the same page. She goes to that same page. She still has to put in the information that you require. She'll still see all your fancy branding. Soon as she enters her information, Zoom will tell you, oh, Lisa is watching your webinar. You can then send her a message if you want, or she will immediately watch it on demand. That's how awesome it is. But again, that's only offered with Zoom webinar. So there's 1.5 million things you can do. But here's the money part, because a lot of us want to know the money part. If you have Zoom Pro and then you use Zoom webinar, that's an extra $40 a month. Under Phil's Zoom Enterprise account, which you guys can get, and it's $360 for the year, guys. It's $30 a month, which means it's $15 extra. You have a webinar whenever you need it, plus an additional 400 seats, which means a total of 500 seats. And that is a big deal because you never know who you're going to speak for or how many seats you need. And I've had my enterprise clients tell me, my client really, they have Zoom and they only have 100 seats. They use my account. I got extra points. You know what I mean? So you become more of a benefit to the client. So does that make sense? So yeah. Phil, were you using Zoom webinar in all those different ways?
Not in all those ways, but some of them for sure. Excuse me. I think that's great. I didn't know about the splitting out of the different recordings for sure. I didn't know about the different tracking. I haven't done that. So that's really cool. One quick question here is, Marquesa, you've mentioned the recording, and I know that's important, and you say it's on steroids. What's the resolution of that recording? Is it high def?
Here's the deal. It's high def if you're under a Zoom Enterprise account. And that's 1080p. And frankly, it depends on whose Zoom Enterprise account you're under. For all my users, it is high def. So I have it enabled where they can do that. The reason that is because so many people are using Zoom. Zoom had to pull back. And so they're going to let their top people. So right now, and some people, regular accounts may or may not have it, but confirmation, I know that certain Zoom Enterprise accounts do, but it has to be enabled. Does that make sense? So yeah, that's kind of how that happens. And we want to make sure that folks know, and this is the piece, Can you show one other screen? Because this is a game changer too, Phil. Go to oh, this is the one. Yeah, slide number 14. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Am I looking at the wrong thing? Here we go. I'm sorry. All right, slide. Let me see which slide it is. Well, first of all, they do need to see slide number 9. I never shared that one with them, but the one I'm trying to share now is huge. And it's, oh, here it is, slide number 30. It's under recordings. Can you take them to slide number 30? You're going to see something that says Zoom feature recordings, and I want to show them something that's huge. Very huge. And actually, you can either share 30 or 32. Actually, share 32. I think that makes more of a point. 32. And it's going to be towards the end. So let me, oh, good. Are you sharing it?
Will be.
Oh,
Yep.
oh, good. There you are. There you go. Okay,
There's
good.
30.
So that's 30. So go ahead and go to 30. Good. Keep going. You go to the, yeah, this is the one. Now, guys, do you notice this? Now, let's say that Phil and I decided to do a presentation. And let's say our presentation was an hour long. That's it, just 60 minutes. Or your average presentation, 60 minutes. It's about 60 minutes long. Let's assume that we wanted Zoom to record all different aspects of our presentation, from both of us on the screen to just me on the screen or whoever's speaking on the screen to just the slides, to the audio, to the transcript. You get the deal. Zoom can record as many as 8 of your presentation in 8 different ways. You follow me? 8 different ways. 8, baby, 8. But here's the catch. Phil, how many gigabytes is that? You see the gigabytes?
Huge. That's huge. So that is a 9.05 gigabyte file.
How many gigabytes come with the Zoom Pro account?
I want to say
1.
maybe 1. Maybe 1, yeah.
1. Do you get my deal? So
yeah, that's awesome.
You are limited with how much you can record if you do not have a Zoom Enterprise account. With Zoom Enterprise is unlimited recordings. Okay.
Wow.
So when so I time map my day. I don't know if you do this, Phil. So if I have a bunch of appointments back to back to back where I'm meeting with people, I don't have time to go into Zoom and remove the recording because I may lose it. Who has time for that? You know what I mean? And if you notice on here, did you notice I used that pencil and labeled it? You see what I'm saying? This was my Zoom Like a Boss Awards, which I did at the end of the year. And then I'm able to go in and label it. That way my team can go in, download, tweak. And by the way, I don't know if you guys know this, you can also go right into Zoom and you can edit the recording. So if there's something that's in there that you don't want in there, you just click that video and then something will come up that'll say, do you want us to edit it? And it will edit right there in the file. So the recordings is golden. So either you can do 1 gigabyte, which I don't know, what do you get for 1 gigabyte, Phil? Oh, you get shared screen with gallery view. Is that 1 gigabyte? That's it, baby. But you can't check and get all of this. So that's why it's a benefit to have both. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yep.
So one more question about the webinar, Marquessa, and that is, can you charge for it? Can you charge for that? Can you charge for the on-demand? Can you hook that up to payment, or do you have to set payment up separately?
You can on Zoom Enterprise, if you use Eventbrite, you can indeed do it. I was able to figure that out. It took a lot of going back and forth with Zoom, but one of my Zoom Enterprise members, because here's the deal, guys, you got to understand this. The reason why Zoom Enterprise is almost like, in order for Zoom to give you a $2,000 a month account for whatever the Zoom Enterprise administrator charges, which in my case is $360 a year or $30 a month. In order for Zoom to do that, they're going to put you under an umbrella. So if Phil just adds PayPal to his account, that money is going to go to the person at the top of the umbrella. And it's the same thing that happens with any other Zoom Enterprise. However, Eventbrite And I just figured this out a couple of months ago. It's still weird, but my team has to go into the back end and tweak it a little bit. But if you use Eventbrite, which I don't, but I understand it is fantastic. It helps you do events. It helps you charge, blah, 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 blah. You can do that. So that would be the answer to that. However, I use Kajabi, guys. That's my shopping cart. It's everything. So I do not use Eventbrite. I like to take money off of Zoom. Yeah.
Cool.
But some people,
Awesome.
So hopefully that answers that question.
I think it does. I think it does. Cool. So as we wrap up here, Marquesa, the last thing that I want you to cover, please, is just a little bit of the live streaming, because I live stream a lot. So talk to me about what's available for live streaming, please.
Show that link. And then at the end, don't forget to show the comparison screen as well. And don't forget to share your link as well. Go down to the last one. I think is live streaming the last one. Oh, I'm asking you. All I gotta do is tell you the number, right? Yep. Let me tell you what slide it is. It is, go to slide number 25, and then we're going to do 25, 26, and 27, and I can knock it out there.
Okay.
25, 26, 27. Yeah. See, Phil, I miss my Zoom eyebrows. Zoom also does your makeup. And I'm like, oh my God. I got lazy today. I'm like, I don't feel like, darking it. I'm telling a secret. Zoom does your makeup, y'all. All right, so here we go. So go to the next one, the next screen here. This is a little tip, and you should be able to do it with StreamYard as well. I'm assuming, I don't know. But you see where it says, if you want to just live stream directly, by the way, anytime I live stream, it all organically starts with Zoom. Okay, so it always has a start with Zoom for me. Why? Because I want to leverage all the Zoom features. I want the transcription. I want everything that I talked about earlier and then some. So I like everything to come from my Zoom window. So what I do is now I do custom live streaming. You see that fourth one? Now, guys, here's the deal. If you've had your Zoom account for a very long time, you're going to have to hit reset because I couldn't figure it out. It wouldn't work until I watched the dang video or some video to get some help and realized that I had to reset it. So rule number one is click that button and reset it, okay? Then you're going to connect the custom live streaming service. I use Restream. Restream allows me to stream to as many Facebook groups as I want. So I usually do 2 or 3. I do my Facebook main page, group page, blah, blah, blah. As many places on Facebook as I want, and YouTube. And so I don't have LinkedIn Live. If I did, I can also do LinkedIn Live. But you can set it up right here. So I'll go straight from Zoom, and then I start with Zoom. And you know where it says go live? Right when you're in your Zoom, it says go live. You would say go live, but Restream or whatever your custom live streaming service is will go live immediately, and then it goes out all these other ways. The easiest thing to do, guys, is just to Google. If you have Restream or something else, just Google, how do I go from Zoom to Restream? It's people put videos out there, and the videos are much better than I'm explaining, but my goal is for you to know the possibility. So that's how I do it.
Awesome. That's super helpful. So
now, Phil,
yes,
make sure you show them the comparison screen, and that's going to be number. And guys, I just want to let you know too. Let me take you to this page. Guys, I'm going to give you my number, not for questions, but for me to give you updates. Because if you have questions, feel free to check out my Zoom Facebook group. But other than that, if you just want to know kind of when I talk about Zoom updates, more specifically Zoom Enterprise, then my number is on here. Phil, can you give them don't you dare. It's here. Isn't it here? Yeah, there it is. Can you show them slide number 48?
Yep.
Slide number 48. That has my number on it. You got a text. Send me Zoom updates and then I'll send you Zoom updates. But just remember, guys, it's really for me to send you Zoom updates and kind of keep you in the loop of what I'm doing there. All right. So that's that number. And then Phil, show them number. Go ahead and show them 43, 44, and 45. And I would have showed you all the big stuff. So 43, 44, and 45. So this is 40. 43, guys. That's the link that is Phil's. Okay. So he probably put that in a chat as well, or in the Facebook group as well, or wherever you are. So make sure you guys use that link and you can get that way. I know that Phil sent you. And again, here's a side by side on why you really want the enterprise. It's a no brainer. It's a bunch of things I don't have time to talk about, but unlimited storage. I talked about that in terms of recordings. I talked about Zoom meeting and Zoom webinar transcription. I talked about that. You get a certain level of support, and then you get $1,000 worth of my courses for free, actually, where I go deeper. I know you're like, as if I can go deeper. That's where I get into that. So you get those instantly as soon as you sign up. Or you can stay with Zoom Pro license and get, well, what's listed there. 100 participants, 1 gigabyte of cloud, unlimited meetings, and that's it. And and believe me, the support is gone. So we got to change that. They've switched that a lot. So that would be my suggestion to you. And guys, if you have questions, you can always go to zoomqueen.com if you have some questions or some thoughts. But it is my pleasure to talk about Zoom Enterprise. I think it's a game changer. It's a no-brainer. I love it. I've used it. Again, it was a big decision in 2020 for me to decide that I wanted to hold licenses, but I'm so passionate about it that I'm glad I made that decision, because I think I started off with a small number and I grew to almost 200. So my name is Marquessa and I am Zoom Queen. You can check me out by going to zoomqueen.com. Again, if you didn't get my telephone number here, I don't even know it by heart. It is 917-724-8462, so that you can be updated whenever I talk about Zoom. I am underground right now, so that's not going to happen again until February. And feel free to join my Facebook group, which is strictly Zoom, and you can do that by going to zoomtogrow.com. Any other questions for me, Phil?
Nope. I think that's great, folks. Check out zoomqueen.com and sign up. Use the link. You get Marquessa's free course through that, and I get a couple bucks to pay for the 5-year-old who's suddenly now is growing and wearing bigger clothes. So check it out. But Marquessa, I'm so grateful you spent some time with me today. Great insights. Really big stuff. I love your 4 things. Transcripts are big. Recordings on steroids. The Zoom webinar platform, which is fantastic, and then live streaming options, which you can't get anywhere else. So good stuff. Marquessa, as always, it is great to spend time with you.
From one eyeglass twin to another.